Hello, this is Liberal Arts Loser, a
Yes, it
podcast
is.
all about what it's like to be a liberal artist.
Yes,
I
it
am
is.
Christian Meador, your resident loser, and today, you can already hear him, we have a very special guest loser. He's an actor, a writer, a content creator, and all around a great guy, Richie
Hope so.
Hidalgo.
Hey, let's hope I'm a great guy. You know, I could change the perception of everyone. Just kidding. Thanks, guys. How's it going?
Hey, Richie.
According to Christian, I'm a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this podcast is about me. So we're only. This is my show now. I decided to
Okay.
take over.
How have you been doing, Richie?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. You know, during this quarantine, we all have
Mm.
ups and downs. And I will admit, a couple weeks ago, I had some downs. You know, I was struggling a bit, but you have to tell yourself that tomorrow's a new day. You have to get up and you have to push forward. You have to see past all the adversities and the problems that you've had. You just have to hope that something is going to happen to change, and to just look on to better things. No, I just changed the entire mood of this podcast, but I wanna throw that out there. That so those isn't it yeah, it's Suicide Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's all those people out there that know someone that's struggling, or if you're struggling, like, it's okay. So uh, I'm not saying that I was that depressed, but I mean I wasn't doing well. So I mean, everyone, usually normally has those problems, but it's okay to feel that way, and it's okay to talk to somebody and tell them that you're not okay. I want to open up this podcast by saying that sometimes it's okay to not be okay.
Awesome.
And
We're jumping right in with some
yeah,
inspirational.
I did not expect to do that. It kind of just happened, but
It was perfect. It was perfect. There's
yeah.
always someone there for you. Don't forget that.
Yes, you're special.
So, Richie, I wanted to kind of tell everyone how we met. Do you want to tell the people how we know each other?
Oh, disgusting. Okay, yeah. Let's get it over with. Yeah. I go to school with Christian. Yes, I am I am educated in collegial arts. I attend a university. I study stuff. So yeah, no, me and Christian met at a play because we were in a show. We both auditioned. We got cast in a show, and it was really good. Harvey, is the name of the show. It's about a guy that sees a 6-foot white rabbit, a puka, which a puka is an Indian Native American term for a spiritual animal that is there physically, but you can't see it visually. You can only really imagine it being there, but it is there. It's literally there. So yeah, that's what.
I was gonna say the first time we hung out one on one, I think, or at least in a small group, my first impression of Richie was you pulled out a list of impressions that you do and did impressions all night.
Wait, when was that?
Well, we studied lines with
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was
yeah.
really fun. Yeah, that's whenever I was working on John Mulaney. I was practicing. I was practicing. I was practicing the impression with other people.
Wow.
Yeah, no,
You still got it.
well, it never goes away. You just get stuck with John. You get stuck with John Mulaney. John Mulaney will be with you forever. So my wife is friends with this Timothy Chalamet son of a bitch
Oh
because
no.
he's 6'1" and I'm 5'10". And then it turns out I look him up. He's 5'11". I walk up to her and she's in her office and she says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "You thought he was 6'1"? The boy's 5'11". I'm taller than the boy myself." She says, "Okay, why are you so upset?" I don't know. I think.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. That was amazing. So obviously you are a performer. We already gathered that.
I'm kind of shy.
So tell me, Richie, how did you? Because I know that I've seen photos of you in like elementary school, I think middle school, and theater. So how did you get started
How did I
in
get started?
all of that?
Yeah. So, long true stuff. Funny to say that I made a joke myself literally a couple seconds in, not being open and stuff. I am an extrovert. However, my family is not. My family is a group of introverts. Not heavily, but like a lot of them are just like kind of more to themselves. They're family people. We get together for food and stuff, and that's pretty much it. But my parents had me at a young age. They saw me and they were like, "We don't want him to be like that." Like they were like, "We want him to be open." And my dad was like, "What if we just made him audition for a bunch of shows? Like, let's just make him do it. Let's go!" And so, yeah, I was like 3. I was like 3 years old, and I started doing a bunch of shows. I started competing in a bunch of events. And honestly, I didn't know what I was doing. I was too young to comprehend these things, so I had no shame. I did not understand that there were people watching me. I just did things. And people were like, "Hey, you're pretty good. You should be in this like school for creative arts." And so I did that for like I think 7 years maybe. And then I started doing improv troops when I was like maybe 10 years old. I started doing shows in my school. Of course, during that time, I was in a middle school, which the theater was not heavily involved into the school program because this is Texas, yeehaw, and here in Texas we don't like theater, we like sports, we like football, even though that the schools don't have any talented people to play sports. So forget about that. Anyways, yeah, no, I got into a lot of shows. Maybe my 6th grade, 7th grade, and during that time, that was more like when I started becoming friends with more people. That was
Mhm.
around the time when I really realized, you know what? Like, I kind of enjoy this. Like, this isn't just like a side thing. Like, this is
Mm.
like something that I genuinely like. Maybe it's because I had been doing it for a while, but also maybe it's because it's something that I got to think about. And so I was like, I kept doing my thing, and there was this show. I was in 7th grade. There was a show called Artie. It was about a boy with Down syndrome, and he gets bullied, and it's a very, very sad show. It's very moving. It's so unique and special, and I really wanted to be Artie. Auditions, I went full out. They asked me to read him. I would do that. I would do everything I could, and I did really well. I'm not a cocky person. Like being legitimate. I'm not talk about myself, but if I were to bring it up now, I think I did pretty well. I think I did the best that I could. And yeah, a lot of people complimented me after the audition. Sure enough, this casting day comes out, Cassis pops up. I run to go see. I am an ensemble person. I
Mm.
I was at the very bottom of the list. I was devastated. I was so sad. And they gave it to somebody who I respect very much. He's a very good friend of mine. However, I did not think at that time he was a good actor. And also, his mother was very good friends with the director. So I saw that there was some bias in there. And that was the first time that I realized that the industry that we're in is not going to be fair all the time. It's going to throw some curveballs. It's going to teach you that the world is cruel out there. And that
Mm.
was the first time that I cried for my art. Maybe because I was selfish, but also at the same time because I wanted it really bad. So looking back at that, I have to say that that moment there was one of the reasons, one of the best moments in my life because I took that and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna be sad. I'm not gonna feel bad about myself. I was like, I'm gonna be the best ensemble person that I can be because that's what I'm gonna be. That's what I am, and I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna make it into something good. So sure enough,
Wow.
I memorized the crap out of my stage directions because I didn't have any lines, and I would always ask the director, "Hey, like, what can I do to be better? What can I do?" And she would be impressed and thoroughly. Yeah, sure enough, like the year after when I was in 8th grade, yeah, me and the director became very good friends, and we just talked about everything. She would ask for my opinion for a lot of different stuff, like direction wise, because she respected my opinion, which means a lot to me. And we still are very good friends. We haven't talked in a while, but if I were to literally just pop up in her life at one point, we would just both embrace with open arms. She's a great person. I consider her a very old mentor of mine. And yeah, it's moments like that that really shaped me into the person that I am today. And yeah, I've been doing shows, in high school, outside of
Mhm.
school, and yeah, I still work and grind today. I make music now. I make music on Spotify, which was pretty. Yeah, no, it was pretty much an accident. My friends just my friends were just like messing around on Snapchat groups, and they dropped this little stupid mixtape on SoundCloud.
Yep.
It wasn't even public. It was just a private, like unlisted song for us to listen to, and it was the funniest thing. And I was like, I can do that. And then I put that, and then people were laughing. But then somebody told me, I don't remember, somebody DM'd me, and they were like, wow, that was actually really good. And I was like, really? And they were like, yeah. I was like, what if we just kept? I was like, what if we just kept doing this? So yeah, like yeah, I make music now on
So, sorry, I don't mean to take it back, but
yeah,
with
God
the
damn it, Christian, what the hell?
so when you were talking about that story, and was it from with acting, was it from that moment on, you just never thought of anything else that you wanted to do, or you just always dead set on being an actor, being in that business?
No, I mean, there's been times where another hardship has obviously come around, and not only I get upset, but I think, is this the right path for me? Like I'm just like, this is getting so hard. I was like, dude, am I in the right spot? And that was
Mhm,
wrong for me to think about because like I need to have that confidence to where I should not even have any doubts about that. Because the moment that you think about that, it's over. Like your mind has already overcome yourself. You can't let that happen. If this is really what you want to do, you gotta go full out and you gotta just
mm,
make something of what you want to do. And we're all human, so I think that if you have those thoughts, sometimes it is okay. And I am human, and I will admit I have had those thoughts. And back then, I mean, a long time ago, I wanted to be an astronaut. That was what my job. That's what I wanted to do. And then I saw the movie Apollo 13, and I was like, wait, they have to do math. And my mom was like, yeah, that's like 60% of what astronauts do. And then I was like, I don't want to be an astronaut. And so, yeah, no, that my opinion totally changed about that. But yeah, no, yeah. Then I was like, when I was like acting, wait, you can be an astronaut, you can be anything. And so I was like, yeah, it's a compromise. You can do whatever you want, depending on what you pick. So I don't know. I mean, I say like if you want to do something in the arts, Neil Patrick Harris, because I heard him say one time you have to like be versatile and you have to throw
mhm.
yourself out there, do everything you can. Don't limit yourself to one thing. That if you do as much as you can, that's what's gonna get you more noticed.
Well,
And I've
I think
definitely
that's
noticed.
interesting.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting that you said that because whenever I was preparing for this, all I was thinking the whole time was Richie is doing so much stuff. Like you're just not finding one thing to do and sticking there. Like you're constantly creating. And that's when you have a YouTube channel with friends,
yes, I do.
Nonivos. So I
I
wanted to
know.
talk about that too because there's so much content on that channel. I
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. We subscribe to none of us. Um, we we started, I think, in 20. Yeah, so a year ago. What the heck am I thinking? Yeah, we started a year ago, pretty much, a little over a year ago, and the idea we had the idea. I think like God, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. Me and my friend Aaron. Um, we're the creators of the show. We had talked about doing this for a long time. Ever since we became best friends, we were like, we should do a YouTube channel. And he was like, what would it be about? And I was like, I don't know. What if we just did like skits and stuff? And like that's how like the Whitest Kids You Know started. That's how like a bunch of like we wanted to be like Flight of the Concords, like just like a skit music like group kind of thing. And we found this other girl from high school, Leah Murray, who was our friend in high school, and she could play the piano like no other woman on earth. She was amazing, and she's so good, and she can write music and stuff. So we decided to like put our minds together, and we did like a little band thing. We were a band for a year, and it was I would say it was pretty successful. We had two performances live. Um, we had a lot of songs that we wrote. One of them was just fueled by like pure ideas. Like we wrote a song in like 30 minutes. I remember one time. That was insane. That was I mean like creative wise, that was one of the best experiences I've ever had in a span of short time. But we had to part ways, unfortunately, a while back because just it was getting hard for Julia to like drive. She goes to TCU, so just like
Mhm.
we started having creative differences, like every band usually does, and yeah, she had to drive kind of a distance sometimes, and I had to too. So we just figured like we could come back at some point in the future, but right now I think we just needed to take a step back. But fortunately, we were like, well, now this is our time that we can work on the channel. So we started
Right.
focusing more on videos, which now we post every Wednesday, and now it's spooky season, so we're getting ready to post some really good content. Hopefully, mostly we're a comedy channel, but for those viewers out there that are planning to look at our channels, like the stuff that we're going to be posting in the next couple of weeks is to be I know this is very biased coming from me because I'm one of the creators of the show, but I will say, like from the butt, like to being completely honest, the next stuff that we're going to be posting is different, is the most different things that we've ever done. Like we're about to get into some realms that like it's not funny. Like it's gonna be very serious, and one of them is gonna be very creepy. So I'm very excited. We have a new team. We got like 6 new people on board, and they're all so good, so funny, so creative, and like just me thinking about it right now, like I'm about to like freaking like just pee myself because I'm so happy right now. Like, this group is like amazing, and honestly, like I couldn't be happier with the new people and stuff. And honestly, Christian, like if I ever need like a featured guest, I could just ask you because like
Absolutely. You know I'd
yeah,
be there in a second.
yeah, no, I mean, none of us is none of us. So like we have like like our solidified group, but we split our series this up into like seasons. So
Mm.
we go from I think September to in May or June. We haven't decided when we're gonna end and like kind of have like a little mini hiatus so that we can like film right and like just prepare for the next season. But when the next season comes and when we have like more ideas and stuff, like we're probably gonna either add a new member or like have scheduled like special members and stuff. So like you're always welcome, Christian, and then like anyone else that you know, because like we want to be like a faceless kind of unified group to where like it's like a we're not one person. We're all one. We're like a group of
Right.
one. I don't know. That's what we've wanted, and like we're a democracy. We have no
So
leader.
you've already touched on it some, but I was very curious because there's so many people on None of Us. Because when I look through it, it's like different people all the time,
Yep.
and there's so many videos. And you've already touched on that you and some other people write, but how does that creative process go? Does it one of you have an idea and you write it together? Do you write something out on your own and present it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So every once in a while, we set up like a Zoom meeting or like some sort of like some call. We like set it up and like we all get on and like we talk about the agenda. We're like, hey guys, so like this is what's coming up. Does anybody have any ideas for like any future projects? We all go around. We say like what we're doing right now, and we kind of just like talk at first so that we can like get everyone's perspective for how we're feeling and how's everyone doing and how we feel the channel is going and stuff. We're gonna start coming up with this. We want to come up with this idea to where, because we have a group chat, to where we're all gonna we're gonna send in ahead of time our next project, and we're all gonna look at it and we're gonna talk about, okay, what worked and what didn't, and we're gonna basically say like, okay, so like if there's a way that we can change this and this, that it will be solid. And that's kind of what we're going to start implementing and doing. We haven't really done that yet, but that's something that we want to do going forward ahead of time, so that it can be approved by everyone, even if they're not in the video. But my friend Drew, I had talked about him because I was talking to my friend James, and he hasn't been in a sketch that is uploaded yet. However, he is going to be in 2 episodes coming up this year. And so he had told me, he was like, dude, you need to get Drew to write something. He was like, Drew is hilarious. And he is. Like, it's not just coming from him. Drew is creatively wise. I don't even know if that makes sense, but creative wise, Drew is one of the funniest people I've ever met. He's insanely funny. He finds creative ways to make people laugh. That's the best way that I can put it. So I talked to him, I think a couple weeks ago. I was like, you should write this really funny skit about like this family that are like Jewish and they're in the North Pole and it's Christmas, except they're celebrating Hanukkah in the North Pole. And he was like, okay. And he did it. And he didn't send it to me, but he told me about it. And it's so funny. And I think the funniest part is I didn't expect him to do it. Like he actually like, he took the time and he actually wrote it. So like, the fact that these people are not only creative, but they're also committed and they're also willing to make that next step. And they all want to put in the effort to make something unique and special. And I really appreciate them for that. Like they're so good, all of them. They're adding something that wasn't there before, most definitely. Absolutely. I'm just commemorating like all the members. Like all of them are they're all just so special. Like I could just go down the line. Like my friend Sean, he's one of the members on there. He's like an acrobat. Like he can do backflips and stuff, and he can like freaking juggle. He can do all this stuff. He's trying to be a writer, and there's a script that he wrote with Drew, and he's very, very talented. It's super funny. We have this girl named Tess. Her timing is perfect, and she's also a perfectionist, just like me. So whenever we're done with a shoot, she'll be like, "Hey, can we do it again?" And I will always be down for that. Of course, the camera battery, but I mean, at the same time, like I always appreciate that. And then we have Lindsay. She's another actress on there, and we had her on the podcast a while back because she was unfortunately not in the trailer. But I mean, I love Lindsay's enthusiasm. She's so bubbly and so different from everybody in the cast or the squad or whatever. I don't know what you call us. But yeah, no, she's so special, and like her positive energy is like always accepted. And I love James because James is honest, and he's one of the most honest people I have ever met in my entire life. I knew when I saw his work, I knew like without a doubt, I was like, I have to get this guy on board to do this, because not only he'll bring authenticity and nuance to the roles that he brings, but that man is fucking honest, and he tells you how it is. And like I respect that. I appreciate that, because all my life I've been told I've been catered to. And I hate to say that because I mean, at the same time, I know to an extent that I am good and I can be better, but nobody has ever come up to me and said, "Richie, that really sucked." However, James tells me that. He tells me, "Richie, this was not good. Okay, I don't care what you think. This wasn't good." And it doesn't hurt my feelings. I love that. I love that about this guy because not only he tells you that, he doesn't tell you to put it down. He tells you because he loves you, and he tells you because he wants you to get better, and he gives me reasons how it can get better. The man is a saint. He's saving lives, and for him to say that, most definitely, I was like, this man is a ride or die, man. This dude is like freaking Vin Diesel and Fast and Furious. He's all family. You got to do it for the
I know
family.
that a lot of listeners are probably not gonna know who these people are, but me
Well,
as someone who knows them, it's very
I'm
entertaining to hear.
yeah, I apologize for going down this rail of just like naming random people, but I'm so enthusiastic about the route that we're going, and I'm naming all these people that if you subscribe to us, which is this is not some sort of like subscribe to us now or die. No, it's not one of those things. It's just like I I'm a content creator, and people that I work with, they're not like my workmates. I don't see them as like people that I work for or work with. They're my friends. They're my second family by nature, and yeah, I really appreciate them for their work. And I don't know. Do you want to change the subject, or do you
We
want to?
can. I mean, I was this can be one of those things. Subscribe to Richie's YouTube channel or you will die.
None of us. Nonavos. It can be in all caps or it can be all lowercase, whatever you want.
Just
Just N O
just
N
put
A
it in
V
the
O
search
S.
bar
Yeah,
and
yeah,
find
whatever.
it,
Yeah, just
and
do
then
it.
hit subscribe.
Yeah, just do it or it'll fucking kill you. All right, everyone.
Okay. So you've already talked about your music a little bit, about the band, which I had honestly I forgot about the band. That was exciting you to talk about it. I remembered that you had been in a band. But I specifically wanted to talk about your music that came out recently.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the music. I'm just kidding. Um, yeah, um, I had been doing music. I think 7 months now, which is insane. I mean, it went so fast, like literally the blink of an eye. And yeah, I've been messing around. I recorded most of my first songs like literally just through my phone, and I just changed the audio a little bit so it can be a little more distorted and it can sound like a mixtape, and it sounded terrible. But then I got a microphone. I got just everything so I could get set up, and I built myself a mini studio in my house upstairs, and which is where I am now. But I decided, with everything going on right now, and this is during like June. This is whenever like shit hit the fan. Like George Floyd, and then Corona was like through the roof. I mean, like it was bad. People were like protesting, and then like the looters were looting, and that's whenever everyone just got like really angry, and rightfully so. But I looked at it and I was like, everybody's doing the same thing. I felt like if I did that, number one, I didn't want to protest because the virus was terrible during that time, and I just didn't trust the crowds. But number two, I felt like my voice didn't matter, and I know that sounds
Mm.
very depressing, but at the same time, I was like, what can I do that's different than what everyone else is doing? And so I decided to get most of the people that I had previously mentioned prior to what we're talking about now, and including Christian. Christian was a part of this too. And I said, let's just make not just an album, not just a series of music. Let's make an experience. I want these people to listen to what's going on this year, because what is happening should not be happening. Number one, it was inevitable because out of everything that had not been done up to now, obviously it was going to happen at some point. It just worst case scenario, it all just ultimately just came crashing down literally in June specifically. But I mean, overall, I took that as the best I could, and I was like, you know what? I decided to make a piece of music, not
Mhm.
piece of music, but like I collectively like. I'm about to say this like it's extremely easy, but essentially, I composed 13 pieces of music, 13 tracks. I put them together. I remastered them with my own technology, and I wrote lyrics or a script to them, and I just got a bunch of my friends, and I was like, let's show the world that they need to wake up. And yeah, I made an album. It's called Aurora: An Unexpected Tangent of Political Issues. The entire thing is on SoundCloud right now. Um, I'm trying to get the rest of it on Spotify.
I
One
saw you
song,
had Yeah, I
one
saw you had one song on Spotify.
one song is on Spotify right now. However, due to some technical issues, I've been trying to get the rest of it on there at some point. Hopefully, I can get the rest of it there before Election Day because that is my goal. But what what I didn't do that for myself. I didn't do that for anyone else really. I did it for the sake of art because we as artists really need to like what's our reasoning behind this? You know what I mean? Like what when we do something, like what's our purpose? What is the message that we're trying to convey? And clearly I had a specific message when I did that.
Right.
I'm usually not a political person. I'm really not. But when that stuff started going on this year, I was like, "Oh hell no." I was like, "Really? In 2020?" I was like, "That is no." Wow, híjole. I got pretty upset. And I mean, I think everyone did, you know?
Mhm.
But I mean, just yeah, I it is getting a little better. However, we all need to vote because I think that's all we can do now. So I say, if you guys want to listen to the music, you can go on SoundCloud, Richie Hidalgo, or I mean, if you don't want to do that, you can just go vote. That will be just enough for me. If you guys go vote, I mean, that will change everything. Just
Yeah,
please, God, I mean, like I I can only hope for the best, in the situation that we're in right now, because like who knows what's gonna happen?
right,
We really don't know. We really don't know because we're not in charge. We only see this going on. And
right,
the worst part is there's a lot that we don't know. And I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist or ever, but I mean I mean we don't know. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Like there's only so much that we know, and there's a lot that they don't want to tell us that's going on. So I mean this is bad, but I feel like there's a lot that we don't know that they're not telling us. That's all I'm gonna say. I
Right.
I, I mean I wish I could say I was joking about that, but honestly I'm not.
Well,
So
I also agree with that, so I really think that, if you're listening to this, that you should go listen to that music, and I also wanna thank you for giving me the opportunity to be involved in that, because I think a lot of people, when everything started happening this year, a lot of people felt a call to action that maybe they hadn't felt before. And it was really exciting because I was doing things on my own, but it was exciting to be able to be a part of that with another group of people. So thank you for letting me be involved with that.
yeah, no, absolutely. I didn't want to do this by myself. I felt like, my voice alone would not be heard. So I got a whole bunch of people. And promotion wise, I mean, I was mostly I have my thoughts on how it all turned out, like together as the final process came out, but like the best thing was like whenever fourth because I released it on 4th of July on SoundCloud. I was more than surprised when everybody that was a part of it started promoting it on Instagram. Like that made my
Mhm.
day. that was the nicest thing. Nobody had to do that, but they decided to help out a fellow artist. Now that sounds like it's just like thanks for helping me out, dude. Like no, like I mean, um, that's not what I mean. What I mean is like I think whenever there's a difference between saying you're going to do something and then like actually doing it. Like
Right.
you can be like, hey, dude, let's collab. And then the other guy's like, yeah, for sure, bro, for sure. And then like, are you gonna do it, bro? Like, are you actually gonna get around to it? Like this guy is offering you a chance to be a part of something. Now, whether you're gonna take that opportunity, that's up to you. But
And I
that's
also
kind of
I also think that you created something that everyone was proud to be a part of. So, um, I think everyone was excited about it.
yeah, no, I mean everybody. I wanted to have a listening party, but I never got around to that because of Corona. But
Right.
I I think it's okay. I'm happy with basically how it turned out. I know that I'm really young, so I don't really think as far as like how it all turned out, it really matters. There was only so much that I can do, and because I rushed it, because we had as little time as possible, I wanted to just get it out there. And I know that's not the case because usually most albums in the industry take a year. So I definitely it took way less time than how it usually would take. So I'm happy with how it turned out, and I'm more than happy with the people that followed up on me. Because I reached out to I think at least 50 people. I reached out to 50 people, and I was like, hey, I want you to be a part of this. They either number one responded back to me and said they'll do it, and they did. Number two, they responded back to me, said that they will do it, they didn't. Number three, they did not respond at all. So Christian was number one of those number one people. And to me, in my heart, they are number one because they were willing to help out their fellow artists. And they don't just need it. And I'm bringing up it to me again. They need to do it to other people, people that aren't noticed that much, people that don't have that voice, and that's why I did this in the beginning in the first place, is because we need to, we're speaking out injustice for people that don't have that voice, that feel that they're alone, and they're not. It just feels like it because the world is fucked up. The world is a terrible place. So we're giving that extra voice so that people can feel like they're being heard. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's what I gotta say. But that's yeah.
So I guess I also wanted to talk about, because you wrote those songs, you write for None of Us. What else do you do other writing? Because I know that we've talked briefly about writing and all of that. Are there any other projects that you're working
Oh,
on?
you think I do more? What do you think? You think I don't have a life or something? God, I mean, oh my God. You think this is all I do? Yes, it is all I do. So yeah, I have a lot of projects actually that I'm working on. I believe it or not, I mean, I woke up this morning and I had an idea for a script, and I'm currently writing it today. So I feel really good about that, especially because can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I apologize. But no, yeah, no, it's crazy because I have not had an idea for a comedy script in a long time, but I'm really excited because this idea is, I think it's okay. So I'm like writing it out. I usually what I do is to challenge myself, especially when I was on fire. When I'm on fire, I can come up with a script pretty much for like days on end. Like I can come up with like 7 scripts, like over and over and over for like day after day after day. I can just grind them out. Now, if it's good, I don't know, but usually the concept is good, and then sometimes it's hard for me to come up with an ending. But the point is that like you're not gonna get better if you don't try. So
Mm.
the reason why I practice all the time is because I want to get better. I want to make something funny because I think I'm a funny person. It's just I think it's whenever somebody says like, "Oh, I want to make a funny comedy script," okay, cool. Like, what type of comedy do you like? Well, like, I like subversive dark comedy. Okay, well then do a dark comedy script. It's a lot harder than you think, dude. It's a lot harder because you have to you have to make what you're doing. You have to have a specific point, but at the same time, you have to find a way to pretend to all different audiences, or else
Mhm.
it's only gonna work for a specific type of group, and it won't hit that well. And you have to be careful because there might be a specific type of humor that you have that it's only gonna be funny to yourself. Which I mean, that's cool and all, but if you want to get out there, dude, find a group of people, like set them down, doesn't have to be physically, just like send it to them and just be like, hey, like, what do you think of this? But it never hurts to ask somebody else for their opinion. It doesn't mean that you're
Mm.
bad. It doesn't mean that you're bad. But if you're gonna throw something out there for a bunch of people, 3 or 4 people won't hurt compared to millions. That's the way that I'm looking at it. And you have to
Right.
trust the people that you know that they're telling you the truth and that they're going to give you good opinions rather than just trusting in yourself. Now, you do have to trust in yourself, but what I mean is that 4 or 5 opinions is much better and much more different than one. And you don't have to go with all of them. You can just pick and choose what you think would be best for the project that you're trying to convey and say like, okay, well, this person, I think he was right in this part, but I think necessarily I'd like to keep this part of the narrative. And so, I mean, you're a writer, you know. So, I mean, yeah, guys, Christian is a writer, and from what I've heard, she's a very fantastic writer. I've yet to really dive into some of her scripts and stuff, but I mean, I think she kind of understands whenever you're a writer, you can't. The problem is, ego sometimes, especially when you're on a roll. Like you might think, oh yeah, I'm the best writer ever, but then like you might send it to somebody and they're like, what the hell is this? and, and so like it's a lot of perspective to think of. Whenever you write this, you have to like not read it as yourself. You might have to read it as like either a stoic critic or just I don't know, just not yourself. That's something that I have to think about sometimes when I'm reading my own script, and it really works whenever I sit down and I read something that I've written like a year ago compared to like something that I wrote like now or am writing. Me and my friend Aaron were writing a horror slash dark slash like comedy right now. It's going really good. I mean, like there's a part in one of the scenes where like we were reading it and literally we both started crying. Like it just happened. Like I've that's
Mhm.
never happened to like that's never happened to something that I've written. I literally started like tears welled up in my eyes and I started crying because it's I don't know. It's just what he did. I didn't write that part, he did, but I mean, I am very impressed and I'm also very excited with how it's going. That's really all I can say about that script. But I mean, like, it's just weird. It's just weird to think like if you really practice, if you really put in the work, it's gonna
Mhm.
show. Especially when you look at something like from before, after. Hi, Billy Mays here with with horror scripts. Yeah, Billy Mays writes horror scripts now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you do, like I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff. I know I keep saying that, but you really are, and
I'm
as
doing
someone
I'm doing not enough. That's the way that I'm looking at it.
so, yeah, so I guess I wanted to, like what headspace do you have to put yourself? Is there any advice that you give to someone who, wants to do all these things, wants to diversify themselves as an artist, but who might be getting burnout or just not feeling like they can handle everything?
Yeah, yeah. So I told you a story in middle school about like my past. I'm gonna tell you another story. This is in high school. This was my freshman year. So yeah, it was my freshman year. So I was in a play. It was called Almost Maine. If you're a theater person, you probably know the show. It's I think
Yep.
it's done fairly often if you're in high school or in middle school, wherever. It was pretty good, I would say. I was Randy, so I was like it was like the two guys or whatever, that they're country guys. So yeah, the show went really well. Yeah, I bonded with everyone. And then the musical was coming up. They were doing Adam's Family. We were doing Adam's Family that year, and I didn't want to do it because I had never done a musical before. I had never even sang before. I never like I never I would like hum to myself, but I wouldn't in my life before then. I was never conscious of the fact that I sang anything at all. So I didn't want to do it because I was scared, pretty much. I was a pussy. And my friend Aaron was like, "Hey, you'd be really good at this. Like, I want you to try." And I was like, "I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do this." He was like, "Come on, I'll do it." And this dude had never sang before. Not only had he never sang before, but he had just started theater like 2 years ago because
Mhm.
I was the one that recruited him in eighth grade. In eighth grade, he was gonna be in. Our director wanted him to be in this play because it was a show about twins, and he looked kind of, sort of like this other dude. And he never did theater. They just wanted him to be in the show because he kind of looked like this dude. And I was like, yeah, do it. And I recruited him, and he was terrified more so, but he became, a really good friend of mine. Just it just clicked. Something was different, and he was willing to try that. And so it came around full circle, and we kind of had that same moment like we did a year before, to where I recruited him, and now he's recruiting me whenever the musical was coming around, and he had that confidence. And I was like, you know what? Fine. If he's really gonna do that, fine, I'll do it. And sure enough, I mean, I got into the ensemble, but I got called
Mhm.
back. I got called back for Gomez, and I was a freshman, and it was like literally down to the wire. It was like either me or this other dude. And the other dude got it because he was like a junior. But I mean, I didn't care. The fact that I was in it, that was an accomplishment for me. I was so happy. And honestly, the show was amazing. Like, the show was really good. My friend Aaron was Lucas, so he had a very good
Mhm.
role. And I got a little sidetracked. But what I'm trying to say is that there's gonna be obstacles. There's gonna be things that you're gonna look at, and you're gonna be like, I don't see myself doing that. Like, I didn't see myself making an album. I didn't see myself making music. I didn't see myself voice acting or writing scripts. I didn't see myself doing that. You never know what's going to happen in your future. You have to appreciate art for how it is, because you never know if you're going to do it, if you become friends with somebody that does it, and they say, "Hey, why don't you get a part of this? I'll offer you this." Not only you become friends with that person, but that person's going to start offering you stuff. You'd be stupid to deny that, because what if that guy's super talented? You're going to open doors. You're going to open yourself new doors if you communicate with people, become friends with new people, and you find a medium. Find a medium to go out and be courageous. Be bold. If you don't be bold, that is the biggest mistake that you'll ever make, because then you'll be in the future 50 years from now looking at yourself and questioning, why didn't you do it? You don't know. You you could make multiple mistakes, and maybe the product would be different than what you thought it was going to. But would you rather do that, and maybe a new door will open and you'll get better at your craft? Or would you not even want to take the offer, and you'll be regretting it for the rest of your life?
Mhm.
That's something that I think about every single time something new comes to fruition. And I look at where I've come and I look at where I am now. And then I look at where I want to be in 5 years.
That
And
I can't believe you just said that, Richie. My next question, it really is. I was going to say, I'm gonna ask you a dreaded question. What are you gonna be doing in 5 years?
I want to be the best at what I do in 5 years. I want to. I'm thinking about moving in with some friends in Austin when I'm graduated. I don't know about grad school. I haven't really thought about that. I might not do it, but really want to move into Austin with some friends. I don't know how long that's going to be, but depending on where this goes, I want to either go to New York or I want to go to LA.
Mm,
However, I don't want I don't want anything to stop me from a different opportunity for me to go somewhere.
right.
Like I said, I want to be the best at what I do. So if something is gonna change, if something will change its course to where it's like, oh, surprise, surprise, I might have to stay in San. I mean, I might have to stay in Austin like for the next 5 years because like, what if like because I heard radio's pretty good over there. So I mean, I've thought about radio. I've thought about everything. I legitimately have thought about everything except housing. Don't know how I'm gonna have to get a job. But no, I want to do everything, and I have so little time the way that I'm looking at it. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to really, 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 dare I say, schedule and plan out and organize myself. So I guess to those of you that feel like the future is scary, it's not because you've made it this far. Look at how far you've become. Look how far you've come. And if you really want to take the next step forward, just think about what it took you to get to where you are now and just break it down piece by piece and say it's going to get better. It's going to get easier because I'm more experienced, I'm smarter, and hopefully I'm better. Yeah, tell yourself you're better. Even if you're not, it's okay. My teacher, Dr. Greer, yeah, I just called her out. Yeah, she better watch this. Um, she told me once in Voice and Movement, be bad. Be as bad as you want. And it's such a simple quote, but I love it so much. It takes the pressure away from you. You look at it and you're like, wow, like it's I don't like I could have never said it any better. For somebody in her caliber to say be bad, like that's if someone gets anxiety, like pressure, stress, that is the perfect way to dilute all that, take it all away and say like it's okay to mess up because you're gonna get there. Could be longer than the next guy, but you're gonna get there. It doesn't matter when.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter. What matters is that you get to your goal and you're gonna get there. If you try, you will succeed at some point. You'll get there. And everyone around you, they're here to help you. So that's the way that I
That
see
it reminds me of I'm sure everyone's heard this at some point or another, but if you're looking to go into any sort of entertainment, anything in that theater, film world, uh, you can't do it because you imagine it as this cushy life where you have your own little beautiful home and you're booking jobs every week. You have to be able to enjoy the struggle.
you have to enjoy the struggle because there's gonna be months on end where you get nothing. So yeah, they only talk about oh Ryan Reynolds has like this new movie coming out. Ryan Reynolds has this new thing coming out. Like nobody talks about the struggle that he had to. That he Ryan Reynolds has come a long way. I mean, the man. He's always been in a lot of movies, but his movies were not good back then. Like, say what you want. I mean, the man has come a long way. He's a fantastic actor. I respect the heck out of him. Sylvester Stallone, the man was homeless. He was
Mhm.
homeless. He was living in his car. He comes up to Hollywood. He's like, "Hey, I have this idea for a script." Paramount was like, "What the hell are you talking about? You're a nobody. Get out of our face." He says, "I have the idea. I have your next blockbuster idea. It's called Rocky." They look at it. They're like, "Okay, well, we might take the chance on it, but we're just going to use your script." And he's like, "But I want to be the main character." And they're like, "That's the dumbest idea ever. Nobody cares about you. You're short, and no one knows who you are." Sure enough, he finally just keeps pushing them over and over and over again. Says, "If you don't make me the lead character, I'm not letting you take this script, and I will press for charges if you do." They look at it and they're like, "We'll give you like $10,000 or something like that to like just for a salary." And sure enough, Rocky is like one of the greatest movies in the '70s. The man was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actor for Rocky. I mean, like that is a fantastic story, and that just shows you that like anyone can do it. It's not going to be easy, but I mean, going to get there at some point. And like, if you think, "Oh, I'm running out of time," it's okay to think that, but like most actors, that they don't really like that. Usually, they don't get to their places like as far as like their peak until like they're in their 30s or 40s. So like, if you're worried right now, you got time. It's
Mhm.
fine. It's okay, dude. I mean, like, it's it's all in your head. You
Mhm.
directors are looking for a specific thing, but you can always change their mind and basically say in your head, "Hey, I'm what you're looking for." And obviously, you have to prove it, but thinking it in your head, that is definitely the first step. So when you go out there and you audition or you throw yourself out there, you put your name out there, make that the first thing that you do. Look in the mirror and say, "I'm what you want. You can have me."
I love that. I'm going to adopt that. I wanna make business cards that say, "Christian Meador, this is what you're looking for."
Yeah, yeah, do it. Do it. That's what I tell myself
So
every.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself. Never speak to me ever again. This podcast is over. Goodbye.
I'm so sorry.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just said that's what I do every day. That's what I tell myself every day.
Um, so what are you do you're I know I keep saying it, but I'm telling you the truth, Richie, you're just doing everything. You're doing the most. So, what do you do to unwind? Like, I
What
know
do I
that's a
do?
stupid question,
No,
but
it's a fair question. It's a fair thing to ask. It's a fair thing. You know what? Don't ask me that. Just kidding. I really like. I'm a people person. I just like hanging out with my friends, regardless of whatever it is. Like I one of the things that I like more than anything is conversation. And when I want to work with somebody, sure, I want to look at like, oh, are they talented? Do they have their shit together? Let's look at that. But I also want to look at, can I talk to them? Are they easy to talk to? Are they just cool people? Are they just, like open to just like being friends? Because that's that's what I like. I just like talking. People are interesting, dude. Like I just like talking to people. People are weird. People are freaking crazy. But that's what's so funny. That's what's so interesting about people, you know? And so yeah, I like talking to my friends. I like talking to my family and stuff. Um, I can read. Reading is cool, I guess. I read scripts. Uh, as far as books, I haven't read like a legitimate book in a while, a hot minute, unless if it's like school text. But I mean, I am a big script reader. Um, I let's see, I play video games. what's it called? Spider-Man PS4. I am hooked on that game, mostly because the side missions are kicking my butt right now, and I really need to beat them, but like it's taking me a long time. It's very frustrating. I became I was very late to the bandwagon train because I got the Spider-Man game, I think like literally over the summer. So I've only had it for like 3 or 4 months, but right now that is like the game that I play much. I also play Among Us with my friends. I think Christian's played it with
Mhm.
me too. She's honestly really terrible. I hate Christian. I hate Christian so much. but
I also I don't I've heard a lot of bad stuff about Christian, I don't know.
yeah, yeah, she's kind of sus, honestly. But what'd you say? What'd you say?
No, what were you saying, sir?
Uh, Thank you, Miss. I let's see. I mean, I wind down using all that stuff, but like at the same time, usually if I hang out with my friends, if I hang out with them for too long, we'll start talking about like projects and stuff. But that's not bad, like because what we do is what we love. And I think
Mhm.
it's so ironic because you asked me like, oh, what do you do in your free time? Sometimes in my free time, I start talking to my friends and we just start slipping back into work and it kind of just turns into like, okay, well, let's like see you later. Well, let's just go write this
Mhm.
script. And then we just turn into like just machines and we start writing stuff again. That's just what happens sometimes. This is what it turns into. But do I hate it? No, I don't. I talk to my friend Aaron. We literally talk like 5 hours sometimes on the phone because because we have this idea for a project, and I'll just be like, "How you doing? It's good. Life is good." And we start talking about life, and then we're like, that reminds me of a good idea for a script, and then we just start talking about that, and then we have this idea, and that's it. We just start talking because we're people. We start talking about people. People are cool. I don't know. Yeah, I like writing scripts. I like writing ideas when it's about characters, like not a
Mhm.
plot heavy script. I want a character like story motivated or pushed forward by the characters. It's about the
Mhm.
people because that's what the actors are focused on. That's what the actors like, you know? Like I don't know. You can make a big blockbuster, big production with producers and directors and writers and motivators, but if you don't find a way to motivate the actors, then something's going to be missing. So why not make a story? Why not make a show? Why not make something where it's like heavily involved in the actors, like The Office? The Office is a character heavy show, like The Good Place, or I don't know why I'm bringing this movie up, but it's a very underrated movie. I don't know why it was not advertised or talked about very much, but the movie is called Peanut Butter Falcon. It has Shia LaBeouf in it, and I think this kid's name is Zach Brannigan, something like that. I don't know. It's a fantastic movie, very underrated. But yeah, I know. You asked me about my free time, and I'm telling you right now. Sometimes I have free
Hey,
time where I hang out with my friends, and then other times, it kind of just slips into oblivion, and I just start talking about work. But I'm not, I'm not mad about that. In fact, I kind of like it. I can never unwind for too long. The longest I've ever
yeah.
unwinded is maybe a week, and then afterwards, I'm like, well, what? My mind starts working again. I'm just like, well,
Mhm.
I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. I gotta get up and go. I gotta go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And that's how my mind works. Now, I mean, I don't, I don't. If somebody doesn't want to do that, I mean, I don't blame you. That's just how my mind works. You
I
you need a break sometimes, And I
right.
recommend for all those people that like work themselves on end. Yes, have a break. It is okay to feel tired because you're a human. Everyone can feel tired sometimes, but just remember that in this art, this competitive world, it's very competitive. Just remember that when you're done with your little break, you gotta go back because it is inevitable. I mean, like going back is putting all of yourself back in, if not even more. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. What were you gonna say?
No, I was agreeing with you. I think whenever in especially with artists, I think our brains don't rest that often.
Mine doesn't. Mine almost never rests, honestly. Even when I'm on my break, I'm thinking of something at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
burning through the sky. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the
thank
speed
you.
of light.
Thank you, everyone. Richie Hidalgo, songwriter and
Yeah. All
musician.
right. Woo.
Before we get to our plugs, because I'm gonna give you time to plug, obviously. Gotta plug. But before we plug, I have stupid question of the day. Are you ready,
Okay.
Richie?
Okay.
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 Richie, my
Yes.
stupid question is,
Okay.
if you had to describe your entire life up to this point as a type of sandwich, what would it be and why? You can go into as much depth as you want.
Ooh. That is wow.
It's kind of deep, right?
I love that question. Okay. Let me think. Um so the first words that I described the sandwich, definitely bittersweet, I would say.
Mm.
Um, or maybe like spicy and like what's a different? I don't like. Okay, let me think of what I'd want. So I this this would be on wheat bread because
Okay.
I've always had like a healthy mindset, even though that sometimes I go off the deep end sometimes. Which speaking off the deep end, I would have probably barbecue chicken as like the
Oh.
main type of like meat on there because that is going off the deep end. But you got to go all out. You got to go all out in life, and so the barbecue chicken represents that. Now, as type of sauce, probably okay. So mayonnaise would be the good stuff. That would be all the good stuff that's happened in life. With pepper jack cheese, definitely. And then I think the bad would be like hot sauce. Now, would that
Oh.
taste good together? I don't know. But let's say that bad would be hot sauce because with all the good, sometimes there comes bad stuff. Which that's just how life is. And you're gonna think, oh, this is so awesome, but like, why the hell isn't this working? And that's okay because I mean, that's just you can't get everything all at once. What are you, some sort of selfish asshole or something? And then let's see what else. Oh, pickles. Don't forget pickles. Just because pickles. Why not? And the lettuce represents. Oh, okay. The pickle. That was a joke. So I guess the pickles represents the comedy in my life. Whether it's comedy as looking at it as like this part of my life really sucked and it's funny to laugh at, or there's parts of my life where it's like, okay, that was pretty funny. Like it was just like genuinely a funny part of my life that happened, or moments. And I guess let's see what else. Spinach would represent the things that like not the boring things, but like the things that happen where it's like very simplistic, but at the same time, those are the things that you remember the most because those are the things that are special and really make you think like who your best friends are, who your family are. Moments where you don't even have to say anything. You just do something with them. Like you drive in the car and you don't say a single word, but you really enjoyed that time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you're playing music, not super loud, just mildly, and you're driving around with this person, and you had a good time, and you even let them know afterwards, hey man, I had a really good time, and you know for a fact that you hardly said anything, but you did enjoy the time because you like spending time with that person. That's moments like that where you don't even have to say anything, and you love hanging out with that person. Those are spinach moments because that's like I don't know how to say it, but I think it's spinach. Okay, just bear with me. And let's see.
This is a really strange sandwich.
What would I guess relationship or love moments, maybe not like love with a partner, but necessarily with just like love of anyone would be tomatoes because tomato is
Mhm.
half a heart. So yeah, tomatoes and I think that's it. I mean, you really, and I think that's the most ironic part. It's like you think in life, is that it? And you really don't know. Yeah, that is it. But isn't that enough? Isn't that enough?
Wow.
You selfish asshole. So yeah.
Your
Anyways,
sandwich is enough.
that'll be $15, and then you're like $15 for my life.
I
What the heck?
think I think that you should go to a Subway and explain that to them as they're making your sandwich.
It's like, can I have a little bit of memories that you really have to say that are really good because you don't really have to say anything and you appreciate the time that you spent with that person? Can I have a little bit of that? and,
Oh,
and the guy's like, you're gonna have to charge me extra for that. Okay. Yeah.
well, Richie, I think it's come to the time where you need to tell the audience all of your plugs, your socials, your Spotify,
Okay.
everything.
Okay. Let me. Okay. So my Instagram is Richie underscore just underscore Richie. I made that a long time ago because I was my past Instagrams were extremely cringy and my especially the names. And my friends were like, why is it called that? And so finally I made a new account and I was just like, it's just Richie. It's just Richie. So I just made that. That's why it's called that, but it's Richie underscore just underscore Richie. I have none of us. We have an Instagram. We're trying to get our Twitter back up, but for now, I'll just say that our Instagram is none of us, NONAVOS underscore official, and it's all lowercase. We post pretty much weekly. We're pretty active. And honestly, if you want to DM us, talk about anything, projects, collab, or you just want to talk to us, we'll probably respond back. So yeah, we're totally open with that. My SoundCloud is simply just Richie Hidalgo. My album Aurora, an unexpected tangent of political issues, is out now for free. There's no charge or anything. Uh, I don't get any money either. However, I did put my what's it called? The not PayPal, Venmo. I put my Venmo on there. So if you wanna, give me an extra couple bucks, it wouldn't hurt to do that. But yeah, of course you don't have to do that. 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 But yeah, our YouTube is none of us, NONABOS. Yeah, I already said that. But yeah, none guys. You got and our by the way, I will close by saying our motto for our slogan for none of us is you're a somebody because none of us in Russian is a term that we switched around because avos is the actual word. Avos means going out there and expecting things to happen and expecting success and having blind faith and half-assing it. None of us, we put an NON, is like an opposite term. So it means that we're going full out. We're not expecting a specific outcome, but we're trying our best. And we don't have blind faith because we know exactly what we're doing. And so to that I say, everyone that's listening, you're a somebody. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. Some motivational shit for you guys.
Richie, thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming on.
yeah. Shut up. All right.
I had a lot of fun, and, I really enjoyed this one. I think that the audience will enjoy this one
Yeah,
in
I hope you guys do. Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, I'm gonna remind you of my Instagram. If you want to follow Liberal Arts Loser on Instagram, you can do that so you're notified if you put on post notifications. I release posts anytime something's gonna be posted, so you'll know about that. And you can also follow my personal Instagram, which is Christian underscore. Is that what it's called?
Underscore.
Why did I just forget what that was called?
I don't
It's
know.
Christian underscore R underscore Meador, Meador. So follow if you would like to. And that's all for this week, guys. I hope that you had fun listening. I had fun talking. And I'll see you guys hear you guys all next week. You'll hear me next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.